to another episode of CapTV. This week, we're focusing on the world of sports.
Fall time is approaching, and that means that there are a lot of exciting things happening in the world of sports.
The world of college football is intense, and we all see our favorite players and teams leave everything out on the gridiron for the world to see. But what happens behind the scenes in preparing for college football game day? We have CapTV's Madison Easton covering behind the scenes at OSU game day.
What's up, CapTV? This is Madison, and today I'm taking you along with me to work an OSU game. I'm a parab operator today. Here's the fit. There's stains on my shirt. This is me in the car with Jack. We had a ton of traffic, and we finally found parking. Well, we finally found the parking garage, which is great. Short elevator ride, a nice success after an hour-long car ride, and we're finally outside the stadium, which is the Shoe, as they call it in Columbus. And we got such a nice view of campus, and just give you a couple shots of the stadium here. Here's the interior of the stadium as we're walking down to the field, and this will pretty much be my view for the entirety of the game, which is pretty sick. I always enjoy doing these gigs. I get to see the football players. They're doing some practicing right now, and the fans are starting to fill in. It's always an awesome opportunity. Get to see the environment and the atmosphere. It's always exciting. Here's a little back view of where the press box is. Players are starting to come out and practice. We got some students filling in. We got the band playing and just an overall cool environment. And we're getting close to game time here. We got the cheerleaders hyping everybody up. And now we're pretty mid-game because it's really hard for me to record and then work. So I gotta focus on the job at hand, right? Here we are at halftime. I got a nice break of 5 minutes, so I got to watch the band and take a load off. My shoulders were starting to hurt. And OSU won. They played Western Michigan. Believe it or not, they completely creamed them. Here's me getting a pizza at the end of the night, and then the walk back to the car with some of the crew. It was definitely a successful night. The game was pretty long, but, hard day's work, and hoping for less traffic on the way back. And now I'm back at my apartment, very tired, but I had a great time working the game, and hope you enjoyed this video and this behind-the-scenes look at an OSU match.
Thanks, Madison. What an in-depth look at what happens behind the curtains. Coming up, we look forward to Week 5 of the college football season. Stay tuned right after this break.
If you're coming out, I suggest not coming out until you are absolutely certain that you're ready.
If they can't accept you for who you are, they aren't worth your time. Just stay with the people that love you for who you are and recognize that you're an awesome person regardless.
So I think if you can really push the barrier and just take the chance to come out, I think you'll really see the difference.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is John Carey here at WXCU Radio, and today I'm playing my radio show where I play my own music on this station, which is really cool. You get to do that. And I get a bunch of feedback from callers coming in, and it really helps me with the overall mastering and other mixing aspects of the original final product. And it's a really great experience to be here, so you guys should really definitely think about joining it because it's awesome.
Go. I'm Chuck, and I play in a local band called Funkworthy. And as a local musician, I know the importance of radio. With WXCU Radio, you can listen to radio at a whole different level because they have these personalized shows. they take so much time to develop these shows and make them so that anybody can listen to them and grasp exactly what the DJs are talking about. That's what I love about WXCU.
Welcome back to CapTV. Week 5 of Division I college football is ahead, and there are a lot of stories to follow. We've got CapTV's Jonathan Pinkerton to give us a rundown of the top 10 best teams in college football, and a little surprise at the end.
College football, John. I'm here, baby. Sports show for CapTV. I mean, I was all ears. I had to cook something up here. So I actually kind of outsourced some help here from CapTV's very own Michael Ashore, our resident, more basketball guy, but we can get him in some college football action. So he wrote out a little bit. I'm going to read some for you. He got me the top 10 list here. This is the AP polls. You got Texas at number 1. Weird to me. It's a little strange having another team besides Georgia or Alabama, if you go a little farther back, at the number 1 spot. But it's not for no reason. This really isn't disputable. Texas somehow has 2 of the best college football quarterbacks on their team. So that's a pretty good problem to have, I suppose. And they just look real strong. At the number 2 spot, we've got Georgia. Georgia, listen. So Georgia, that's like that team that everybody knows from college football. 13-12 against the Kentucky Wildcats.
Oh my God, bro.
I mean, we got to talk about that a little bit. I'm not going to say that they should be demoted on the list, but when you're facing a team that's not really ranked and you lose or win by 1, not lose, that would be a loss if I were a Georgia fan that we only beat Kentucky by 1, but that happens sometimes. It's just some room for concern. At the number 3 spot, we've got Ohio State, and Mike actually wrote a little something out here. Ohio State is currently 3-0 and 3rd in overall standings. That's usually how it goes for Ohio State. They sort of skate in that 2-3 territory. They don't quite get to number 1, but I think there's some potential this year. That Kansas State quarterback that they brought in is pretty good. That guy's pretty good. He could definitely sling the rock out there. And Ohio State always has great wide receivers, so it's nothing not expected. Alabama at number 4. They're always going to be up there. No Nick Saban this year, so that's a little jarring to see. And then you've got former Washington coach back out there just coaching a team like Alabama. I mean, they're always going to be in the top 10. That's something that's not going to change. Tennessee at number 5. They lost a few people due to the NFL draft, but it seems like they're still wheeling and dealing out there. So that's always encouraging news. I mean, they beat Kent State, which, I'm in Ohio, so I always got bias for some Ohio teams. Beating Kent State by 71-0. Nothing to sneeze at there. Those are still grown men on the football field that just didn't score a single point. I mean, how does that happen?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Unreal. Anyway, I digress. Ole Miss is there. I haven't really watched much of them. I'm pretty sure they're good. I mean, they're number 6. They're a pretty good team. Miami, Florida, looks like they've never been more back. I mean, it's like the 2000s are repeating right now. I would not be surprised if they kind of are a sneaky little playoff team. I know they're number 7, so it's not like abundantly surprise, Miami's in the playoff contention, but I could see them really making a little bit of a run in the new college football playoffs, which very excited to see. You got Oregon at number 8. I always feel like Oregon is placed a little too low on these lists. I'm not really sure why there's an anti-Oregon bias in the AP polls, but I like Oregon. I think they're a good team. I think they're a consistently good team. They just fly under the radar a little bit. I'm not going to say they're like a Miami sneaker team. They can choke some games here and there, which is kind of a bummer. But if they keep up this production, I think that they can make a good playoff run. And then Penn State, I don't know. I never know with Penn State. I think one way about them, and then I'm disappointed the next year. Very confusing, but that's okay. Penn State, we love you. Good to see you in the top 10. I'm glad you'll be here for a couple more weeks. Maybe. Now we got Utah. Utah, I'll say it. love watching Utah football. I mean, Utah football, that's good stuff. Those Mormons are cooking over there. You know, they're no Brigham Young University, no BYU, but Utah, okay, I'm ready to see the holy war that's about to happen, which is what they call the game. I'm not just making that up. Utah is a really fun team to watch. They're explosive. It's crazy, and they play some pretty solid teams. I think they've proved themselves in top 10. I know last year they were great. This year I haven't really caught up with them too much, but everything I've seen, because I kind of, in past, was like, oh, they look pretty good. I'm liking it. I like what you got going on there, Utah. You know what? I'm going to do some Ohio State fan service real quick. Matchup coming up. Michigan State. This could be on 7:30. After being originally scheduled for 7 p.m., I'm reading. Thank you, Micah. The game will be streamed exclusively on Peacock, because if there's one thing I know football fans love, it's exclusive games only on Peacock. So thank you for doing that, college football. Now, this hurts my heart. There's a team that was on there quite a bit last year and you didn't see this year. And that team is none other than Michigan Wolverines. And I'm going to read you what Micah said. These are his words, not mine. Excuse me. Michigan is currently bad as their record is 3-1 and 12th in overall rankings. Their QB has the second lowest passing grade this season and currently have the number 128 ranked passing offense in the country. They are indeed bad. Now that hurts. And Micah wrote this out, and he really thought he was doing something there, but all I want to say is, actually, I have a prop. Yeah, that's where. You see who that is? You see that is J.J. McCarthy with the trophy, the national champion. Pipe down on Michigan, all right? If you guys want to say it's all over, it's not. It's only just begun. Our dynasty, it ended, but it always comes back up. We lost a lot of players in the draft. I'm not going to argue that, but chill out, okay? That's going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. My heart doesn't hurt. You can make fun of Michigan all you want, but at the end of the day, what happened last year? Where was Ohio State? Not in the playoffs. Wasn't that something special? Up next, we've got a segment all about Major League Baseball's upcoming postseason right after this break.
This is a Capital University public service announcement. No Hall Sports. It saves lives.
The idea that I can be a part of a solution for something, for somebody.
It's an amazing thing. And now every day you feel so good to be able to come in here and help folks.
You see the impact of what you're doing every day because you see these people every day.
Hi, I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm Nathan Holt. You may have seen me walking around campus cleaning up trash every morning. Capital University has given me this time to talk to you about something we both really care about. Littering. Think about this. Many of you littering right now are under 20. Do you realize that at 20 you've only lived 1/4 of your life? Imagine how much trash you'll leave if you keep going like that. Listen, you've got at least 3/4 of your life to go, so don't blow it. Don't litter. If you're littering, stop it. Get some help. Capital wants to give the earth a chance, and so do I. Hi, I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm Nathan.
This is a Capital University public service announcement. remember, please flush.
Welcome back to CapTV. As you can see, I'm the MLB consultant for CapTV because love baseball. And it's the end of September, which means we're entering the month of October. And October is a buzzword for all baseball fans because that means we're entering the playoffs. So let's take a look at the postseason schedule and the end of season and the wild card matches. The season ends on Sunday, September 29th, which is coming up very quickly, and the wild card games start on October 1st and go through the 3rd. After that, we have the division series starting on October 5th through the 12th, the league championship on October 13th going through the 22nd, and the World Series starting on October 25th and continuing until somebody wins. Now, with the MLB playoffs, they play for the first person to win 4 games, which is pretty crazy. They can go to 7 games, believe it or not, and they definitely have. So that's why we have a massive window for all of these games, an entire month dedicated to baseball, which I love. So next, we're going to take a look at the postseason bracket, and this is what it's going to look like after the wild card rounds. We start with the wild card rounds, of course. The 6 seed facing the 3 seed. We have the 5 seed facing the 4 seed. And the first and 2 division teams have a bye for the wild card games. And they play whoever wins the wild card. And then after that, it goes into the division series, the league championship, the World Series, all a ton of games. So let's take a look at what teams we have for this year's playoffs. It's being very funky because a lot of teams are not officially clinched yet, haven't clinched a wild card spot yet, but we do know that we have division leaders in the Yankees in the American League, the Dodgers in the National League, both in the number 1 spot, and then in the number 2 spots, we have the Cleveland Guardians in the American League and the Phillies in the National League. And like I said before, these 4 teams get a bye during the first playoff round, which for a Guardians fan, that's good. I can breathe for a little bit longer. Next, we're going to take a look at the wild card teams. These are the teams that are going to be playing each other starting October 1st. And the matchup is still kind of undetermined as everybody is still in the regular season facing each other, getting those rankings. But in the American League, so far we have the Tigers, Royals, Astros, and Orioles. And then in the National League, we have the Diamondbacks, Brewers, Mets, and Padres, which the wild card series are always very nerve-wracking. So as a Cleveland fan, I am relieved that we don't have to do that. We have quite a long month ahead of us, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what everybody does. Funny thing about the wild card matches is I actually had to change one of the spots from the Twins to the Tigers because it changed, believe it or not. So some of these are still up in the air, but we know for sure that the Yankees, the Guardians, the Phillies, and the Dodgers are clinched, which is pretty crazy for Cleveland fans. Lord knows we're the underdogs, but hey, I'll take it. So that is all that is on the horizon for the baseball postseason, but stay tuned as we have more packages for you. And yeah, that is all. We will have more packages, and we're going to be talking about the NFL instead of the MLB with Will Seffick and Jonathan Pinkerton.
My name is John Dooley, and this is A Touch of Beauty Salon, Barber, and Spa. We're located at 844 East Main Street between 17th and 18th Street, and we've been here for over a year. Just as our name suggests, we provide a full range of services for salon, barber, and spa. Our hairstylists offer the very best in relaxers, perms, hair additions, haircuts, updos, and styling packages for events. Our barbers provide razor cuts and full-service haircuts. And our salon provides a premier assortment of services in professional manicures, pedicures, facials, waxing, and body wraps. We're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and Sundays by appointment. We love walk-ins and we offer specials daily. You can visit us at atouchofbeautyhair.com.
Capital University is proud to provide a platform to discover upcoming musicians in the Columbus area. Tune in to WXU, an online radio station run by the students, for the students, and more. A nominee for the 2016 Best Student-Run Online-Only Station, WXU showcases great music from all varieties of sources, whether it be a household name or a household production. And make sure to stop by WXU's one and only Radiothon.
Oh my goodness, Madison, thank you for that baseball look. I am excited to see how these playoffs turn out. But I'm Jonathan Pinkerton, and I'm joined by Will Seffick. We are the brightest minds outside of football, and we are very excited to talk about some of the games coming up for week 4. But before we do, I have to correct something. Earlier, when talking about college football, I said I knew nothing about Ole Miss. That's not true. Did a little bit of research afterwards, and I found out their quarterback's name is Jackson Dart, and that is awesome to me. He has thrown for 1,600 passing yards and almost 12 touchdowns in 4 games. Isn't that just crazy?
Guy's a stud. He'll be a Heisman finalist at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt in my mind. I'll put money on it. Anyway, let's go and jump into how Thursday night is going to look. We have the Giants versus Cowboys. This could be quite the game.
It will. The biggest match for that game's got to be Trayvon Diggs and Malik Neighbors.
Oh, my goodness.
I think this will be the first week that we see a team just put their best cornerback on Neighbors and shadow him the whole game.
Yeah.
Browns didn't do it last week with Denzel Ward, and it really hurt us.
Yeah.
Greg Newsome kind of got cooked. I'm not going to envy him, but both got cooked on that left side of the field, so you got to see the Cowboys got to course correct, right?
It happens. That guy is a freak out there, and you're going to have Dak Prescott on the other side. I feel like on a random Thursday night in September, really going to see some throwing out there. So I think we're going to have a Dak Prescott legacy game ahead of us. I personally have the Giants, though. I just have a feeling Malik Neighbors is going to go out there and really prove something, make a name for himself. He's got Daniel Jones throwing the ball out, but we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes.
Thursday night games are always low scoring, so I wouldn't be shocked if something crazy happens. Dak throws 2 interceptions, can't get the offense moving.
Yeah.
Good call.
Now we have the Bengals and Panthers, and that's going to be a fun game. We have Andy Dalton facing his old team from, was it like 1994? I mean, that guy's pretty old now. But last week, he threw for quite a bit. I mean, he put up the most passing yards in a league that's been a little difficult passing-wise. He can't really get the ball out.
It's true. It's been hard passing ball for everybody. Biggest thing to me, Bengals, 0-3 so far.
Yeah.
Can Andy Dalton come back and make it 0-4?
I don't think so. I think the Bengals put up a great show against the Commanders last week. That was fun to watch, and I have a feeling the Bengals are going to be able to capture down the offense. It's the defensive side of the ball we're worried about, you know. That game actually last week, the Bengals and Commanders, that was the first game since 1941 that there was not a single turnover or punt. Yeah. So if the Bengals can do that again, I think the Panthers stand no chance. Bad franchise.
Panthers can't score the ball like that. I agree.
Now we've got Saints and Falcons up. I don't know how you feel about it, but I have my opinions, but I'll let you go.
Yeah. You know what? From what I saw last week, the Falcons can move the ball. Yeah. Kirk Cousins is an elite quarterback. He's proven that. I mean, he might not be that upper echelon. He's not like a top 3 quarterback, but he's top 10. Yeah. And with the weapons he has there, Drake London, they're feeding Kyle Pitts the ball. That should have been a pass interference in the end zone. Should have been his second touchdown of the season. I think their offense is too explosive for the Saints to keep up to. Derek Carr's a good quarterback, but he's not as good as he's going to lose that matchup against Kirk Cousins.
Now we're going to run through some other games real quick because we got to get to some of the important matchups. We got Jaguars and Texans. I've got the Texans. That's not disputable. Jags are bad.
Really? I think the Jags are bad. I don't think they go 1-4 though. I think they have too many weapons. They just can't.
Doug Peterson's not going to be that good. Broncos versus Jets. Got the Jets. like A-Rod out there.
Listen, he looked great last week. He's looking like himself. He's not as mobile as he used to be. A torn Achilles will do that at 41, but he can still sling the ball.
Yeah.
I like the Jets winning and covering 7.5.
I agree, absolutely. Vikings and Packers. Vikings, I mean, Brian Flores is a wizard. I think the dude could crack Da Vinci Code. I have never seen a defensive scheme so brutal. I mean, it's tough for these teams to get the ball out against the Vikings. So I got the Vikings. Packers, Malik Willis is not going to do it for you.
No, I mean, their run-heavy game, it's not going to work against that defense. Sam Darnold looked incredible the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson looking injured, looking a little slower, still catching the ball like a freak. So I like the Vikings as well.
Now, we got Steelers and Colts. Camera 4, I'm going to want you to get over for this. This game makes me nervous. I wrote that the Steelers' defense is great, but Anthony Richardson has no issue launching the ball 70 yards downfield every single play. The Steelers aren't amazing, but we will see. It's a game that could be high scoring, but it's the Steelers. I don't believe that's possible. I believe it might be a 12-7 snooze fest with the Steelers' points all coming from field goals.
You know what I will say? He can truck the ball 70 yards downfield. He's got trouble throwing it 5 to 10 yards. He doesn't have a short game.
Not a check down guy.
That rush, the pass rush of the Steelers is going to get to him a lot.
Absolutely.
They're going to get 5-6 sacks again this week.
Yeah. Who do you got?
I got the Steelers. I got the Steelers in a close one.
My guy. Now, we got Rams and Bears. I think it's going to be the most boring game of the week. Rams, not a whole lot of talent there. I like Matthew Stafford, Caleb Williams. Just don't think it's going to be all that good. It's a 1 o'clock game. I don't know.
I can see the Bears defense giving them some problems, especially losing Puka and no Cooper Kupp.
Absolutely.
Fields looked great last week. Fields could do for like 300-plus yards. So if he can keep that up, Bears offense is going to have a day.
Now, Eagles versus Buccaneers. We're going to run through this one real quick, though. I have the Buccaneers. There's just too many injuries for the Eagles to survive this one. Buccaneers looked so bad last week, I think that they can only go up. They let up 5 sacks against, I can't even remember who that was the Broncos.
Yeah,
not putting up 5 sacks.
Very bad. I think they got to get the run game going, get Rashad White going, get him in the offense early. You open up Mike Evans downfield. Sure. It should be an easy game for them.
Now, Patriots versus 49ers.
Yeah.
49ers have nobody on their team. I heard they're recruiting from local middle schools, so that'll be interesting. But the Patriots are so bad, I just think the 49ers are going to win.
49ers defense will keep them in the game. 10-point favorite when I checked. So still, even with all those injuries on the offense side of the ball, you got to trust Shanahan, got to trust Brock Purdy to win your game.
I think it's really the middle schoolers that brought up the spread there. You got some good youth in there.
Got some young legs on the field. That's good. That's good for you.
Now, Commanders versus Cardinals. If you asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have believed that this would be a game that I could fall asleep during, But the Commanders looked really good last week. That's a fun team. I love Jaden Daniels out there with Scary Terry just launching it, and he's defying gravity in the end zone. That's something you love to see. But Kyler Murray's a good quarterback.
Kyler Murray's a very good quarterback. They got a good offense in Arizona.
Yeah.
The thing for me, though, the Commanders. Offensive weapons look great. Even Austin Eckler, got hurt last week. If he's back this week, I believe he's questionable to play.
Yeah.
He's just looked revitalized since coming over from San Diego, man. Yeah. He's got young legs again. He's like 30-year-old running backs you got to stay away from. But him and that Brian Robinson Jr., that 1-2 punch in the backfield is so nice for them. Yeah. I like the Commanders to win.
I love it, man. We're synced right here. Chiefs and Chargers. Can't name a single player on the Chargers besides Justin Herbert. That's easy. Let's just call it Chiefs.
It's the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes is out there. We're good.
Herbert's not playing. It's got to be Chiefs, yeah.
Now, Browns versus Raiders. I have the Browns, but talk a little bit.
As a Browns fan, this has been the most disappointing 3 games of the season so far. Yeah. I mean, it's been terrible. O-line hurt again. Wyatt Teller's out. Right guard's hurt.
Unreal.
So we should see the defense playing very well against the Raiders offense with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. I mean, I will say he gave us problems last year when he was in Indianapolis, but I trust our defense to bounce back. We had a great pass rush, even with Myles Garrett dealing with injuries, so we should be fine. I like the Browns to win and cover 2.5.
Bills versus Ravens, most fun game of the season. I'm calling it. Bills, I think, are going to win, but the Ravens have to show up a little bit or they're out of playoff contention.
Ravens going to stay alive. Their offense is going to look great. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll come down to 3 points.
Titans versus Dolphins. Titans, oh my God, I think they're going to win, but this is going to be the most boring game. Seahawks and Lions. I've got Lions.
You got the Lions? I love the Seahawks. 3-0. I think they're going 4-0 this week.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for having us. There's lots to look forward to in baseball and football. We'll be here for next week's Art Show. And you know what? Go Browns.
Go Steelers.